Hello and welcome to Inside the Summit League. We've got some track and field coming up, indoor track and field. Aaron Teschuk, amazing again at North Dakota State University. And a story coming up a little bit later on Eric Robertson and his big impact this year on the men's basketball team at South Dakota. And the Coyotes knew it. They are 1-4 right now in Summit League play. But really, right in the mix of things, maybe not to go on and win the regular season championship in men's basketball, but it is a toss-up every night right now, isn't it? You got teams down there at the bottom, South Dakota, Western Illinois. Anybody can beat anybody on any night right now. Am I wrong on that?
No, we're seeing that in the games. I mean, for example, if you want to look at South Dakota, they went on the road up to Fargo and nearly knocked off North Dakota State. Had a shot at the buzzer to do it. That thing went around the rim in about every possible way. Didn't go in. Tough loss for them. But yeah, I mean, you look at top to bottom through the Summit League, Tom, and it's competitive every single night. And I don't think we should be surprised by that. These teams all had really good non-conference performances. I think we kind of saw this maybe coming in, and it's really playing out.
All right, the men's game of the week was in Omaha on Saturday. Had Fort Wayne and Omaha go to overtime, tied at 92 apiece just in regulation, and they keep on pouring in points in the overtime. Fort Wayne goes on and wins it 106-101. Knew it. That we didn't see this one, but it had to be a lot of fun.
It sure looked like it would be a lot of fun to check that one out. And what an offensive performance by Fort Wayne. I mean, they shot the three-pointer so well, and to go on the road and do that.
Max Landis has kind of taken over. He is the player of the week in the Summit League. He had 23 in the game before this game. That was at South Dakota State. But his 37 against Omaha, second only to Obi Omegano's 38 for the most in one game in the Summit League so far this season. Omegano had those 38 against Fort Wayne, by the way. But 37 is a career high for Landis, the most in Fort Wayne since they became a Division I basketball program back in 2001. On the women's side of things, meanwhile, South Dakota and South Dakota State played on Sunday in Brookings. The Coyotes get their first win in Brookings in 26 years. It had been 1990 was the last time the USD had won a women's basketball game there. Nicole Seekamp, 23 points for USD. Game tied with 15 seconds left. She makes a three to put the Coyotes ahead. Adds two more free throws to seal the deal after that. She scores the last 7 points of the game, and USD wins 63-57.
Seekamp was not going to let her team lose. That was very clear down the stretch. And, I mean, she had a fabulous week as well. Of course, winning the game at South Dakota State. Also, a double overtime win at North Dakota State.
Seekamp earns her third Player of the Week award already this season. It's the 6th time in her career. And we'll take a look at this a little bit later. But as you said, she had 25 points and 10 rebounds and hit a shot at the end of regulation in a double overtime win at North Dakota State. And she is as clutch as they come right now, Brad. And we will talk a little bit more about the women later on. We'll be right back, though, with the rundown on all of the games from the week in men's basketball, including 2 wins on the road for Obi Omegano and Oral Roberts.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Let's get to the week that was in Summit League men's basketball, starting with North Dakota State at home against South Dakota. And the Bison look like they're cruising to another home win here in Newitt. They're up by 16 points with 10 minutes to play, but South Dakota slaps on the pressure. They come back to get within 1 point, and USD actually had a shot to win it on the last play of regulation.
Yeah, USD, great comeback. They put on the heat, like you said, forced the Bison into 17 turnovers. This is a team in North Dakota State that is one of the best in the country at taking care of it, but South Dakota, to their credit, got the Bison to turn it over, almost completed the amazing comeback.
Shai McClellan had 14 points for USD, had that shot to win it at the end, but Corey Brown in this game for North Dakota State, career highs with 21 points and 15 rebounds. On Thursday, a road win for Oral Roberts at IUPUI. They win at 80-71. Chris Martin, freshman for Oral Roberts with 18. Omegano had 16. Daquan Jeffries with 17. And the Jaguars, they got 35 bench points in this game, but Oral Roberts with a win on the road against a very good IUPUI team.
big road win for Oral Roberts to go into Indianapolis and get that one, and a good team win. They had 4 players in double figures in that game, Tom, and so that really helped Oral Roberts take a big step towards moving back towards the upper half of the Summit League standings.
Denver with the win on the road on Thursday at Western Illinois. Nate Engesser made just his second start of the season in this game for Denver, but he comes away with 14 points. Denver led by 23 in the first half. Very efficient. When they're this efficient,
Yes.
They're very good. 54% field goals, and they made 9 of 15 three-point shots.
Exactly. When Denver plays with that kind of efficiency on the offensive end, they are almost impossible to beat because they keep the game in a low possession game like we've talked about, and the tempo of that one was very much to their liking.
South Dakota State at home, the Jackrabbits have been struggling offensively, but in this game they get 92. They get a career-high 28 from George Marshall and a career-high 26 from DeAndre Parks.
Well, if those two play at that level, all of a sudden they don't miss Jake Biddle as much. Again, Biddle's still out of the starting lineup and not being able to play right now for South Dakota State. And I think the thing that really struck me in that game is the efficiency that Marshall and Parks scored at, Tom. They both shot over 50%. And for players that shoot a lot of three-pointers like those two do, shoot that percentage, that really helps them.
On Saturday, IUPUI gets home, and they beat Denver in this one 76-61. IUPUI led by 21 early in the second half. Marcellus Barksdale with 19, and IUPUI's got a lot of juniors, a lot of seniors, a lot of transfer guys. They're just they're old and tough, aren't they?
They really are, and they defended well in this game. They forced Denver into 15 turnovers, so that's saying something right there. And then on the offensive end, IUPUI is extremely efficient. They shot 69% in this game, Tom, and they're going to be really tough to beat, I think, at home, especially if they can play that well offensively.
Fort Wayne at Omaha. This is the game we touched on earlier. 106-101 in overtime. Both teams knew it better than 1.1 points per game, so they had a lot of possessions but were scoring a lot of points. Fort Wayne led by 19 early in the game before Omaha made their comeback. Landis with 37 points. He made 9 three-pointers in the game, but Omaha, Tradeon Hollins, 23 points, 13 assists. That's the most in a Summit League game so far this season. And he added 8 steals to that. And they got 26 from White. They got 20 from Thurman, but they come up short, 106-101.
Yeah, it was a very exciting game, very well played by both teams. And those are two teams that don't mind playing up tempo, and that's why all the points scored. But Omaha almost able to get the comeback. They forced Fort Wayne, Tom, into 22 turnovers. You mentioned the steals by Hollins, and that's one of the ways Omaha can get themselves back in games. We've seen them do it already a couple times. They almost pulled it off again.
All right, North Dakota State at home against South Dakota State on Saturday. The Jackrabbits, after scoring 92, just go in the tank offensively in this one. 29% field goal shooting, a season-low 17 points in the first half. They could never recover, and Paul Miller with 17 to lead North Dakota State to the win here.
I think a lot of credit to North Dakota State and what they did defensively in this game. Really did a nice job of forcing South Dakota State into taking perimeter shots, and the ball was not going in the hoop for the Jackrabbits. Also, North Dakota State, nice job controlling the rebounding in this game. Corey Brown, another great game, Tom. You look at his line, 14 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. The senior guard is really becoming a complete player here. Now we're getting into Summit League play.
North Dakota State led by 17 at one point in that game. That's the most SDSU has been down to anybody all season so far this year. And Oral Roberts on the road at Western Illinois. Another win here for Oral Roberts on the road. Obi Omegano had 13 of 16 at the free throw line.
Well, great weekend for Oral Roberts. You go and get 2 road wins. They came into that last weekend 1-3. You get 2 road wins. You're 3-3, and you're right back in the hunt. And a big thing that really also helps Oral Roberts, Omaha, Fort Wayne, 2 teams that came into the last weekend with no losses, both suffer a loss. And now all of a sudden, those Summit League standings, it's all kind of getting pushed back together. And Oral Roberts has got to like where they're sitting right now.
Women's basketball coming up next. IUPUI stays hot with a couple of wins at home. We've got the weekend women's hoops coming up next.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Now to women's basketball, and there are 4 teams tied at the top of the league standings right now at 4-1. One of them is South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits started the week with a win against Fort Wayne. In Fort Wayne, the Dons just 27% field goal shooting. They tied a season low in this one. Ellie Thompson with 14, Macy Miller with 13 as the Jackrabbits get a win on the road.
Well, this is what South Dakota State has done to teams in Summit League play, and that's just lock them down defensively. They did it on the road against Fort Wayne. Hold them 42 points. You're going to win most of your ball games when you can do that.
IUPUI at home against Omaha, 75-59. The Jaguars get a win here with a big second half. Michaela Shaw had 20 for Omaha. She is second in the league in scoring right now. But a big second half for the Jaguars. Michael Rogers with 26 points and 7 rebounds for IUPUI. On Thursday with South Dakota at North Dakota State. Touched on this one earlier. Double overtime. Coyotes had 88 possessions in this game. The Bison had 86 possessions, and North Dakota State, they've only got 7 players right now because of various injuries. They finished this game with 5 players, 2 of them fouled out. Great effort for them. Taylor Thunstead with 31 for North Dakota State, but Nicole Seekamp hit a 2 at the buzzer in regulation to send it to overtime, and she ends up with 25 points and 10 assists for USD.
Well, again, Seekamp doing it all for her team, scoring, distributing, getting her teammates involved, and she's been doing that throughout her career, but she's really playing at a high level right now for USD.
On Friday, it was Western Illinois at home, a 3-point win over Denver, 63-60. Western led by 15 in the third quarter. Denver came back and led by 1 with a minute to go, or with about 3 minutes to go, but Western pulls it out 63-60. Paige Bradley, 20 for Denver. Sophie Reichelt had 18 in this game for Western Illinois as they go 7 of 32 on 3-point shots, but the Leathernecks pull out the win there. Oral Roberts on Saturday, a home win, a 2-point win over Fort Wayne, 61-59. Ashley Beatty, a freshman for Oral Roberts, a season-high 15 in this one to offset 19 from Camilla Carter for Fort Wayne.
Well, the thing is, you look at Oral Roberts, they're not a real deep team. They're playing a lot of their starters 35-plus minutes. They're finding ways to win games, Tom, and I don't think a lot of people expected to see Oral Roberts at the top of the standings. They're right there. They're 4-1. It's a logjam up there right now. They're one of those teams. They're finding ways to win a lot of close games. This was another one.
Also on Saturday, IUPUI at home against North Dakota State, and the Bison, a little bit of hangover maybe from that double overtime game they played before this, but Taylor Thunstead again with 14. IUPUI was up by 17 at halftime. Michael Rogers, again, another big performance for her. 19 points, 8 rebounds. In the paint in the 2 games this week, IUPUI outscoring their opponents 76-42.
And that's that offensive efficiency I was talking about. They're really playing well offensively, and this is a program that's kind of been known more, I think, for their defense and their defensive pressure. That's how they've won games in the past, and they're still really solid defensively, Tom, but when they can play this well offensively like they did this last weekend, see, they're really going to be a tough team to handle.
And then on Sunday, South Dakota with the win at South Dakota State. Both of these teams are now 4-1. It's the first win for USD at SDSU since 1990. Seekamp with 23. She scores the last 7 points of the ball game for the Coyotes. Macy Miller had 20 for South Dakota State, but not quite enough. SDSU's 2 home losses so far this season are to Notre Dame and to South Dakota.
There's just not a lot of people that go into Frost and win, period. South Dakota, what a win for them. And, it just really kind of wreaks havoc now on the whole standings because now everyone's kind of bunched back together. And for South Dakota, that's a huge win for them because there's not going to be a lot of other teams, in my opinion, Tom, that are going to go into Frost Arena and come out of there victorious.
In Omaha, the Mavericks beat Denver 67-55. Remy Davenport with 30 for Omaha. She hit 10 threes. That is a school record. The Summer League record is 11, set by Nicole Rogers at IUPUI just last season. But 30 in this game for Davenport on 10 of 15 3-point shooting. Thanks, Noah. Up next, indoor track and field. Aaron Teschuk doing it again at North Dakota State.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Welcome back. The Summit League is home to one of the very best track and field athletes in the nation in Erin Teschuk at North Dakota State University. She is the reigning Summit League cross-country athlete of the year. She is a first-team All-American in indoor and outdoor track. She finished 5th in the mile last year at the NCAA Indoor Championships. Well, she was back at it in the Bison Classic in Fargo on Saturday. Teschuk won the mile by 12 seconds. Her time was 4:37.49, and she ran it on a 200-meter flat track, so the converted time is even better than that, 4:34.77. That is the best in the country so far this season in the mile, but it is still more than 2 seconds slower than Teschuk's own school record of 4:32.35. Either way, that performance earns Teschuk the Summit League Athlete of the Week. Honors, again, 5th time in her career that she has been the Athlete of the Week, and she is joined by North Dakota State's Conrad Schwarzkopf, the junior from Bismarck. Won the weight throw at the Bison Classic, a new school record there of 64 feet 6 inches. That is a league best so far this season. Schwarzkopf also posted a personal best in the shot put. And South Dakota cleans up in a meet over the weekend that included Omaha and a handful of Division II teams in Vermilion. The Coyotes win 16 events. The USD men, remember, are the 3-time defending team champions in indoor track, and they have plenty of talent back, including Gawain Williams in the sprints. They've got Tyvaski Lewin in the hurdles, Kyle McKelvey in the weights, and they are looking forward to the Summit League Championships. They're just a little over a month away, coming up in late February in Fort Wayne. Up next, he looks like a rock star, and he's been playing like a maniac. See and hear why Eric Robertson has been a big key to success this year for the University of South Dakota.
Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Grand Falls Casino and Golf Resort, Dakota Land Honda, and South Dakota Corn. Inside the Summit League on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and the Sioux Falls Convention and Visitors Bureau.
With the beard and the flowing hair and the surplus of tattoos, USD senior forward Eric Robertson definitely stands out on the basketball court. This season, he's been making a statement with his look and his basketball game. And for more on the man they call E-Rob in Vermilion, here's Alex Heinert.
Let's start with the obvious. Eric Robertson stands out on the basketball court. At 6'8", 200 pounds, and all the outward appearances of your basic hipster, Robertson is a unique commodity in the D1 basketball world.
He's got a little bit of the scruffy look and the hair's all over the place when he's playing.
What's less obvious is that his appearance isn't as unique as his basketball journey. After an all-state career at Wayzata High School in Minnesota, Robertson put off college for a year to attend IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, the top prep school when it comes to athletics in the country.
I really liked the coach. He was a really good fit. On my official visit, saw Cam Newton there, and he was training, working out. I'm like, yeah, this is amazing. It was a great experience. I'm really glad that I did it, and it ended up leading me to South Dakota, so got to be happy about that.
Besides preparing Robertson for basketball at a higher level, the year in Florida helped him realize how much he missed life in the Midwest.
South Dakota was the closest offer to home, and I'm kind of a mama's boy, so I need to be close to my mom.
Once enrolled at USD, Robertson started learning the college game under then Coyote head coach Dave Boots. But that tutelage would only last one season.
You come in thinking that you're going to have one coach all 4 years, and that was not the reality for me.
Boots would retire at the start of Robertson's sophomore year, and when interim coach Joey James wasn't retained at season's end, Robertson braced himself for his third head coach in 3 years. The transition to the Craig Smith era meant starting over for Robertson, but that was nothing out of the ordinary.
Every single year I had to earn a spot. Coach Smith comes in right as I'm a junior, have no idea if he's going to like me or not, and so every single day I just went in there and I just worked my butt off and continued that through my senior year. And it's still a mentality that I have, and I'm going to carry with me until I'm done playing basketball, whenever that may be.
That hard work has paid off, especially this season, as E-Rob has started every game for the Coyotes in 2015-16.
He's bided his time. He's had to put the time in, and he's had to earn it. Nothing in life is given to you. You got to go earn everything that you get. and it's something that he deserves.
Robertson's averaging just under 10 points and 4 rebounds per contest and played a starring role in USD's upset win at Minnesota, pouring in 16 points on 7 of 11 shooting to help the Coyotes earn an 85-81 double overtime win over the team he grew up rooting for.
I literally could not have written a better day at Minnesota. It was phenomenal. For us to come together as a team, take a double overtime win, and for me to be productive. I honestly would have been fine if we would have won. I didn't score, would have played 5 minutes, just as long as we got that win at Minnesota. But the fact that I played well and my teammates played well was phenomenal. All my family and my friends were there, just screaming and going crazy. It was an unreal experience.
He had over 100 people there, at the game, and for him growing up, coming to games and seeing a lot of games in Williams Arena and cheering on the Gophers, I know it meant so much. I know he told me, "Thank you, Coach, for scheduling this game," and of course we said, "Thank you, E-Rob, for making big plays over and over again."
With the Minnesota game now a memory and the conference portion of the schedule underway, Robertson knows there's still work to be done if this team wants to achieve its true goal this season of a berth in the NCAA tournaments.
Definitely coming together as a team and just every single day, just working hard and doing what Coach Smith tells us every single day to achieve our dreams, which is cut down the nets.
Robertson's numbers have been a good indicator of USD's success so far this season. The Coyotes are 6-2 in games when he has scored more than 10 points. They are 2-6 when he is held under 10 points. And we'll see how the Coyotes fare this week. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Inside the Summit League.